Karratha, the Pilbara, Western Australia. Outside the Karratha Vet Hospital, it's an emergency.
Whenever you get the call that you've got a potential parvo puppy coming in, I think everybody's heart sinks. These puppies are so vulnerable and they are so incredibly sick.
For senior vet, Dr. Katie Davis, parvovirus in the Pilbara is as serious as it gets.
Hello. I'm not going to be able to touch anything at the moment, just because they were going to run a parvo test. When did the vomiting and diarrhoea start? Today. Okay. All right, sweetie. Sorry, Zilly. Got this absolutely cute as a button little German Shorthaired Pointer puppy, and she's now presenting with possible parvo signs. I'm going to go in and run this. Parvovirus is horrendous. It causes vomiting and hemorrhagic diarrhoea. It kills.
This is Western Australia, and in this harsh environment, life thrives. In this episode, the aftermath of the Kangaroo Island bushfires.
It rocked the entire world.
A puppy fights against a deadly disease.
She's come in quick, and now she's starting to crash.
And a chicken is on its last legs.
Not ready to give up on her.
Animals and families share a bond, even a legacy.
That's what legacy is all about. I try to teach my children the same values.
We follow a career vet, his family,
It's literally been my dream since I was 12 to make a difference with wildlife.
and friends as they care for and protect the animals of Western Australia.
Mother Nature is our religion.
They are the ones we rely on out here. This is Outback Vet. Zilly, the puppy, is being tested for the deadly parvovirus.
In Karratha, we do see a lot of parvovirus. All right, sweetie. Sorry, Zilly. All right, darling. It's a good 10 minutes before I've got any results, and then I'll come back out to you, okay? There's designer dog breeds that you just don't typically associate parvo with. Very cute little dog. Definitely a soft spot for pointers. Every vet has their favourites. Parvovirus is such a contagious virus.
This lethal virus lives in the soil and attacks the immune system and intestinal tract. And for a puppy like Zilly,
It typically affects unvaccinated dogs, and it kills. The big thing is just not touching anything coming back in. Everything's set up in the clinical waste bag so that we don't touch anything, don't contaminate any surfaces. It's a 10-minute test, and I can only imagine how long that test feels for the owner waiting for those results.
if Zilly has parvovirus, she is facing a critical fight for survival.
You sit there and it's like watching water boil. You watch those numbers tick over. But in this instance, Cara, can you come here? The positive dot came up so quickly and so strong, it genuinely shocked me. The little pup does have parvo.
Super positive.
Super positive. I don't think Mum's going to be prepared at all. There's no way that you can prepare the owner of a new puppy to tell them that their dog has parvo. We're going to have to start getting everything set up to go into ISO again. If you can start getting some gowns. The walk from in the lab out to Zilly's mum, it feels like it goes forever because I've had that conversation before, but I knew exactly how she was going to react. Hello. Has come back positive. Look, whether she's picked it up during transport or if somebody had been in your house before you that's had a parvo puppy or had a dog that's had parvo, it could be living in the ground and you don't know. I'm so sorry. You just see that hit her. She knows what parvo is. She's heard about it. She's going to have to stay in isolation ward. She can't come into the hospital because of the risk of contamination to other animals. We're typically looking at hospitalisation of 2 to 3 days, depending on how she goes. It doesn't discriminate. It doesn't matter if you're a, $5,000 pedigree puppy or a $10 special from out the back of a ute somewhere. We use plasma and then fluid therapy, gastroprotectants, antibiotics. In my mind, her best chances and the best option is for Zilly to be hospitalised in our isolation ward and receive medical treatment around the clock. I would love to be able to say, look, every Parvo puppy we get home, we don't. It hit her like a ton of bricks. She was not expecting me to say that her little puppy had Parvo, and there I was telling her that her puppy had Parvo, and I was going to have to take her and put her in isolation, and there was no guarantee that she would be picking her back up.
Kangaroo Island, South Australia, January 2020.
Well, the fires have taken a huge toll on Australia's unique wildlife. In places like Kangaroo Island, rescuers are now trying to save the animals who've managed to survive.
Bushfires, ferocious and fast-moving, incinerated more than half the island.
Hearing about the devastation with the bushfires on Kangaroo Island, like everybody, I felt such a feeling of shock. Just to think of all of those animals just literally being burnt to death. Not only that, but the survivors in so much pain. It rocked the entire world.
Survivors are injured and stressed, many requiring treatment, 80% of their habitat gone.
As an animal lover and, a wildlife freak, it really rocked me to my core, absolutely. But it really wasn't until I was physically there on the ground, being part of the rescue operations, then it really hit home how bad it was.
We've always done rescues every year, but we've never had anything of this scale from fires before. Yeah, we've never seen anything this bad.
The Kangaroo Island Wildlife Centre has been inundated with hundreds of displaced and injured wildlife. Dr. Lou is among the thousands of volunteers and Army personnel who've answered the call for help.
I really wanted to volunteer because I was just so devastated with what was going on, and it's just a very natural response for everybody to want to help. At the end of the day, I'm not a wildlife vet, so I felt really thrilled and thankful to get a role volunteering.
After several days volunteering on Kangaroo Island, Dr. Lou is beginning to realise the toll this state of emergency is having on the region.
Bushfires started 3 weeks ago, and these people have been dealing with emergency situation, working huge hours. They're exhausted. It's certainly important to have fresh energy come through at this stage.
The volume of wild animals still in need of rescue and rehabilitation is a reality that Dr. Lou will face head-on.
To see a koala just come, staggering really, out of the burnt bushland and just literally stop in the middle of the road and kind of just look at us. Like, that poor little thing was stuffed.
With bushland burnt for miles in every direction on Kangaroo Island, and with wildlife rescue teams already stretched to capacity, Dr. Lou needs to rescue this koala for it to have any chance of survival.
Once I got out of the car and started running towards the koala, I knew I didn't have very long to grab it.
Equipped with baskets to construct a temporary cage for the koala.
Sorry, darling, I know. I got you. Once I grabbed her coat, I remember just trying to tell her, sweetie, I'm here to help. Just try to relax. I know it's not very nice for this human to grab you and manhandle you into a Hessian bag, but I've got to do this. This poor little girl just literally crossing the road, so she must be damn hungry right now. If I didn't hold on tight and get her safely into that Hessian bag, then she did not have a chance of survival. Good girl, you're okay. You're okay. I know, darling. I know, darling. You're okay, darling.
Carefully, Dr. Lou rescues the wild koala.
All right, darling. All right, darling, you're okay. We need to get that bottom one on top. That's the way. Go. Done. Well done, sweetie pie. She's definitely been burnt. Her whole coat has been singed by the fire. So we're definitely going to have to get her back to the hospital for assessment. I mean, everywhere out here, it's just, she's been travelling over hot coals, so there's a good chance that her foot pads will be burnt. And she's very, very dehydrated. So she's definitely going to need plenty of fluids. So I'm going to start her on fluid therapy now so we can get some hydration into her on the way back to the Wildlife Centre.
Outside the Karratha Vet Hospital, Zilly the puppy has been diagnosed with a deadly parvovirus.
I'm going to go into the isolation ward and I'll get you to bring her over and you can pass her into me. You can't come into the ward.
Okay.
There's no antidote with Parvo. There's no one injection that I can get out of the fridge and give it and that dog is fixed.
Although humans cannot contract parvovirus, Dr. Katie still has to treat Zilly in isolation.
Nothing can be touching this puppy or anything that it comes into contact with, its feces, vomit, etc. We good? All right, so you just got to stay on that side of the door. Take her collar off and keep that one. Yeah, I'll take the bed. When a Parvo puppy crashes, essentially they lose all their white blood cells and they have no ability to fight anything. And the vomiting and the diarrhea continues and they become so weak. You had a big cuddle?
Yeah. Lots of cuddles, eh?
Come on, stretch it up. All right, darling girl. Preparing owners for potentially what could happen is better than, painting this rosy picture and then having to call back and say, actually, she hasn't made it. Every Parvo puppy that comes in effectively has that first vet that sees them. That bond is automatically formed. It becomes your responsibility to get that puppy home.
Good girl, good girl.
I know. So mean. Very, very cute little puppy. It is good. She's still got quite a little bit of energy at this point in time, which is great to see. It's just, it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking seeing any puppy coming in here to be facing quite a few days in essential isolation. They're not made to be on their own. Just going to get a catheter in both legs. I need one for fluids and one for her plasma.
The fluids and plasma are used to help support Zilly in an attempt to stop her organs from shutting down.
You're okay.
You're going to be a wiggler.
I know what she's doing to you. What's she doing, hey?
It's not that bad. It's not that bad. I promise. I promise. So mean. There's no ability to keep her company. I can't take her home. I can't give her a friend. She's had all her medications she's set up. I essentially have to close the door and say, I hope I'll see you in the morning.
Zilly spends a night in intensive care, alone. The next morning,
I open the door. You always get this little sense of unease. Obviously, you want to see a nice, happy puppy. Unfortunately, sometimes that's not the case.
back on Kangaroo Island.
I had the car set up to treat koalas and rescue koalas just in case, but I didn't really necessarily think it was going to happen. Poor thing must be starving hungry. I mean, looking around, there's just no green as far as the eye can see. So she's been hungry for quite some time. They have to be pretty hungry to come down off the safety of their tree. So she's just literally looking for food, looking for water.
The rescued koala is in need of immediate care.
I'm just setting up to give her some subcutaneous fluids because she's feeling very dehydrated. But if we can get some fluids into her, she's going to feel a lot better very quickly. Fluids going in now. The next priority is to get her back to the clinic as quickly as possible so we can assess her wounds and figure out the best course of treatment.
Every koala rescued on Kangaroo Island is brought to the Wildlife Centre in an attempt to preserve this unique population of chlamydia-free koalas.
She does have ulcerated wounds, so she definitely will need an anaesthetic so that we can start treating the wounds properly. So you're guessing that she's about 8 kilos or something? Yep.
The injured koala is adequately sedated for treatment.
I was able to get the hand of an amazing wildlife vet. Okay, here we go, little love.
She's lost that nail.
Normally she'd have a big fluffy ear. That's all been singed off by the fire. So we're firstly going to...
Dr. Lou disinfects the koala's burn wounds.
This would be really painful for the poor little darling. I'm sorry, honey. I was really relieved that her wounds were very minimal. She's had a couple little wounds on her digits. The wounds are all nicely cleaned, so we've taken off all the yucky dead bits of skin. Now we're going to dry them and bandage them up.
This koala is one of thousands rescued from the fire front.
Last thing that we need to do is give her a cuddle. Thank you, whichever Nana knitted this beautiful crocheted rug. You hold on to that, my darling.
puppy.
We've given her really the best chance that we could right now. We'll see how she goes. There we go.
At the Kangaroo Vet Hospital, Zilly the puppy has the deadly Parvo virus, and it's been an anxious 12 hours for Dr. Katie.
I opened the door. You always get this little sense of unease. Obviously, you want to see a nice, happy puppy. Unfortunately, sometimes that's not the case. She's going absolutely crazy. Hello, how are you? You've got to take it because so often than not, hey, darling, you're a good girl. You don't see that for a few days. You're a bit brighter. You're a bit brighter. When she came in yesterday, she was quite flat, feeling pretty sorry for herself. Quite bright and happy today. Hey? Must be so hard being a little puppy and put in isolation away from everyone and everything. So she's just getting her antibiotic now.
Dr. Katie continues Zilly's treatment as she fights against the deadly Parvo virus.
These guys are loopy, absolute loopy when they grow up, but beautiful, beautiful dogs.
However, despite Zilly's change in demeanour, Dr. Katie does not underestimate just how lethal parvovirus can be. Dr. Lou has rescued a stranded koala from the Kangaroo Island firegrounds, and it's one of hundreds of displaced and damaged wildlife receiving treatment at the island's wildlife centre.
Our house at the moment is pretty much a nursery. We're seeing anywhere from 10 to 30 animals coming every day, and it's just, as well as all the existing patients, it's just been insane how many animals are coming in from the firegrounds.
And Dr. Lou is happy to help.
We're just making up some milk for our critical koalas. So overnight we had a dump of rain, which is awesome for the fires. The cold snap, the rain, the wind, getting a little bit wet has just really contributed to their stress levels. And when an animal's stressed out, it needs extra nutrition. So we're basically making up some koala milk. Even though they're adults, you know, it's supercharged with protein and nutrients. And it's just going to give them a little lift for today.
And in a temporary wildlife emergency hospital established to manage the sheer volume of injured animals.
There's around 85 koalas who are being treated for their burn wounds. This means they're needing to be anaesthetised and have their dressings changed every 1 to 3 days, depending on how the wounds are looking.
The number of animals needing medical attention has created an endless chain of care.
Who have we got here? Partial thickness burns to her palms, digits, sores. So when feeding a koala, we don't want them to aspirate it, i.e. breathe it in, so we kind of need to just effectively drip it onto the tongue.
It is a reality that not every koala can or will be saved.
It's pretty overwhelming, the sheer volume of koalas that are here. Over 100 in hospital. 15 of them are currently critical. On average, losing about 4 overnight, but the 15 that we're looking after right now, I might only keep half of them. I mean, this one is not looking good at all. She's barely even swallowing. Yeah, it's pretty damn upsetting. Do you think this one might need some fluids? She's pretty, or are they kind of all like this? She won't even swallow.
At the Kangaroo Vet Hospital, Zilly has been quarantined after testing positive for Parvo virus.
Hi, Annalise.
Hi, how are you doing?
You want to paint the best picture and you want to paint hope. First of all, she's made it through the night.
Well, at least it's good news.
Yeah. Even though the chances aren't great, sometimes you need that hope to keep going. I would love to just say, look, we're 100% and I can try and get her home, but part of me feels like we haven't seen the crash that Parvo puppies can have. I just need you to be prepared that maybe we haven't got through the worst of it yet, okay?
Zilly's immune system can become so overwhelmed by the ferocity of the virus that it can shut her organs down and she may crash.
Even though she's looking good this morning, there's every possibility that she might still have a little crash before we get better, okay? You can't set them up with this rose-coloured glasses and then let them down.
Dogs with parvovirus experience vomiting, diarrhoea and dehydration, similar to that of the human gastrovirus.
I hadn't seen the vomiting and the diarrhea that she was initially brought in for. Hello. Hello. And when I go in to do my check, what have you done to your comb? You had some diarrhea, darling. Have you had some diarrhea? Her bed is covered in diarrhea. And it just kind of fits that picture of, okay, look, she's come in quick and now she's starting to crash. I'm kind of torn, really happy to see her so bright, but a little bit nervous about the fact that we are potentially going to see a crash in her.
Zilly's immune system is struggling to fight the virus.
She's in the right place for it. I have the ability to support her.
For now, Dr. Katie has done all she can for Zilly.
See you tomorrow. Hey? Good night, miss.
Zilly must spend another night alone in the hope that by morning her health is beginning to improve. On Kangaroo Island, Dr. Lou is one of many volunteers helping to treat the injured wildlife after a series of devastating bushfires.
It's pretty overwhelming, the sheer volume of koalas that are here. Do you think this one might need some warm subcut fluids? She's pretty, or are they kind of all like this? She won't even swallow. Instead of trying to get food into her mouth, we're going to just pop some warm fluids under her skin to get a bit of hydration into her right away.
Dr. Lou administers fluids under the skin of the critically injured koala.
They literally were dying just from the stress of the fires, being in captivity, their wounds, their pain.
Good girl. Hopefully the warm fluids will give this little girl a bit of a boost.
It was hard to not do more, but when you have such a volume of animals that need your help, you have to stick to protocol. So that's what we did. And yeah, hope for the best.
Get nice and warm, honey bun. There you go. Hi. Good girl. You'll be okay. Okay.
But with over 100 koalas still in need of attention and care.
I guess I couldn't dwell on it too much. There's lots more koalas that need help.
You're amazing, aren't you, Dookie boy?
10 days ago, baby Duke suffered second-degree burns on both pads of his back feet.
So little Duke here is about 9 or 10 months of age. He came in, both of his back feet had second-degree burns.
An adult koala is completely freaked out by captivity, whereas a little baby, well, they don't know that much else, so they didn't seem to be as terrified.
He's been having his dressings changed every couple of days. So let's take a look and see how his little wounds are looking today. How are we looking? All right, so we're seeing some nice, healthy pink tissue, so that's brilliant. That's all really nice and healthy. So he would have had all of the skin on his little pad here would have completely come off. So we're just going to give his little wounds a nice little clean so we can assess the skin underneath properly. There's a little bit of discharge. Sorry, mate, is that a bit stingy? Oh, you're so brave, little handsome. And we might need to debride a little bit of the necrotic skin. So basically just take off any of the skin that isn't looking too healthy. It is quite easy for infection to set in. It's, it's an open wound and, these are debilitated animals. They've been through a lot of stress and trauma, so we have to be really careful with keeping these wounds beautifully clean and start antibiotics if there's any suggestion of infection. Oh, it's a bit sore. Sorry, mate. Oh, you poor little thing. You had enough of it. Do you think that's enough for now?
I think that's pretty good.
So just adding some silver cream. So this is fantastic antibacterial properties to prevent infection and also anti-inflammatory to reduce down the swelling and hence the pain.
This little dude didn't even need to be anaesthetised. He was just cool. Yeah, just, take my dressings off, patch up my wounds. What a little champ.
He's being very, very brave. Camo blue, what do you think of this little guy? Bless. He's doing so well. We're nearly done, handsome. How about that?
Yeah, great.
Well done, little Duke. Well done, little man, you're finished.
These infants will play a vital role in replenishing the koala population on Kangaroo Island. Their survival is imperative. And no animal can survive without food, regardless of how cute they are.
You're a bit cute, aren't you, sweetie?
Hey, darling.
Grab her a bottle.
Hi. Oxytocin or what? This little guy here was one of about 30 little orphan koala joeys here at the Wildlife Centre on Kangaroo Island. And it's feeding time, so I'm a bit of a lucky girl who gets to feed this little bubby. My ovaries are hurting right now. What's this?
There we go.
2/3 of Kangaroo Island's bushland has been destroyed by fire. The next few years of this koala's life will be formative to its species' survival.
Oh, we're nearly finished. And we haven't spilt a drop. Yeah, that's done.
Out in the backyards of Karratha, all manner of animals are considered part of the family.
How are you? Hey, Rubes. So Ruby is a good old backyard Karratha chicken. People up here love their chooks. Every second person has them and they've got names, they're very loved, and yeah, Ruby's no different.
Ruby has been making regular trips to the vet after severely injuring her leg in the backyard.
So how's she been since that last bandage change?
Yeah, she's been good. Yeah, she's happy. She's eating, drinking.
Laying still? Yeah, still getting an egg a day?
Yeah, egg a day, yeah.
Unfortunately, she can't live her life with these bandages on her legs. The nerve injury is just not healing to a point where we're comfortable with. Not ready to give up on her.
Absolutely not.
But definitely in a situation where I think we're going to have to get a little bit creative in terms of what we do from here. For the last few weeks now, this chook's been in the back of my mind in terms of what I can do to give her a chance. Kind of just coming back to basics, and I think we can kind of make a little, prosthetic that we can put on and off. I've been looking for ways to try and build a chicken's leg. The golden plan was to attach a squash ball to effectively the stump after I amputate Ruby's foot. If it goes well and she tolerates this, I think it's going to be a working procedure where we can maybe continually improve her prosthetic stump. Yeah, where else but the Pilbara do you throw out the bush mechanics and just give it a go. Cost-wise, have you ever heard of VetPay before?
Yes, I have.
Great system to use. That basically takes that financial worry off and we can give Ruby the treatment that we're hoping to get her home. We set up VetPay, which is a system where the owners can pay that back over a short amount of time. It really alleviates that financial worry for them to be able to say yes to the procedure that was offered.
But before Katie can amputate Ruby's leg, she needs to find an appropriate prosthetic to attach after the operation.
I'm just wondering, do you sell squash balls by any chance? Just after a squash ball for a chicken. Local sports store, unfortunately, all gone, nothing. So I ended up at the Leisureplex and I think the poor girl, she probably had no idea what she was in for. I need a prosthetic foot for a chook. Oh. Yep. Look, she jumped on board and we got a couple. Never thought a squash ball would be so hard to find. Thought I better get a few.
Dr. Katie has found what she needs and is ready to commence surgery.
Surgical approach for chicken amputation, quite different to your standard dog or cat. And lo and behold, under the anaesthetic, getting ready for the procedure, and oh, she laid an egg. Ruby lays an egg. Excellent.
All jokes aside, Dr. Katie removes Ruby's leg from the knee down.
All came together really well. Pretty happy. Let's wake her up and see what she thinks. Because of the location that I had to make the amputation, because of her muscles, I actually was going to need a much larger ball than what I first thought. Get it on, get it in place, and then just kind of sit and watch as she goes, first of all, what is this? But very soon you can kind of see it ticking through her head, like, I want to move, I want to eat, where's my food? And hear Mum's voice down the hallway and think, rightio, let's get Mum down. I think her girl will go to her.
Hello!
There's Mum.
Look at you.
There's Mum. She's getting used to it. We had to make it a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
So as soon as Lisa sees her, she's basically like, okay, give me some food. She loves her food. Gets down, does a little rustle of the food, and
Ruby can walk.
Oh my God, Katie. That is fantastic.
just the smile on her face. That was the smile I hadn't seen prior to the surgery. And we might even get to the point where that, you know, where it's amputated heals enough and callous enough that she can just walk on the stump too.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we just need to protect it for now.
That is amazing. Oh my God, look at you, eh? You are one special chook, ain't ya?
It makes me feel good that I can adapt and try and come up with something for owners who aren't ready to let go, and they don't have to let go, not just yet.
A few days later, Dr. Katie visits Ruby at home to see how her new leg is holding up.
Oh, look, it's good to see her getting around. She might only have this ball short term.
Yep.
She might adapt to being a one-leg chook and happily hopping around. She's doing great.
She is, she's doing fantastic.
Shark Bay, Western Australia. Marine biologist Ed Fenny is passionate about our oceans.
We as seafood consumers have choices, and we can choose to eat animals that have a sustainable population, or we can contribute to the population decline of species that are more fragile. In my opinion, there isn't a choice.
And as the owner of the marine education facility, Ocean Park Aquarium,
what we want to achieve is to educate people into making that correct decision, that informed decision. I'm eating a sustainable species.
global consumption of seafood is well over 150 million tonnes per year. Our ocean is feeling the strain of this growing demand.
What we really want to achieve is to collect some animals to put on display that we can educate the public about some sustainable eating practices. We want to put these animals in front of our guests and explain to them why we shouldn't feel guilty about consuming those species.
I think it's gone the full circle, that back in the turn of the century and the tough times of the wars and the depression between the wars, people went out and they grew stuff, and they were sustainable because they had to be. We've sort of lost that.
But Rick's son Ed is determined to preserve our oceans for generations to come.
So the species we want to collect is the Western Rock Lobster. We want to build an entirely new crayfish or rock lobster exhibit specifically for that animal.
They look great and they taste great, and they're really, really good fun to catch.
In this case, conservation must politely wait for construction.
Where's the rest of the 50mm pipe, bro?
Yeah, Duncan and Ed have a great partnership, and I think they learn off each other, they help each other.
Did you want a central bit of coral? I'm really looking forward to working with Dunk to build this new aquarium, to collect the animals for it as well, which is going to be a stack of fun.
Crayfish rock here. Yeah. The crayfish will sit tail in, head out.
Like a plate.
Set their feelers, just like in the wild.
We've got intake water in here and out there, so we're going to have good flow past there. Fill with sand as well.
Yep.
That way the anemones have got something to bury the foot into as well, right?
Absolutely.
And I like that it's open so people will be able to get really close and they'll feed up the walls, which will look incredible, eh? Yeah. It's really interactive. I love it.
In the aquarium they're in, people can almost feel their antenna on their leg as they walk past. They're such in contact with the animal, and it's really, really cool to see.
This family's love for the sea is generational.
Ed and I bought this place some 16 years ago, and we've always had this vision for showing how you can live by the sea and learn from the sea. And the whole concept of going out into the ocean and bringing creatures back is so rewarding. And that vision is now becoming reality.
The mission will be myself, best mate Dunk, heading out to an area to dive for some crayfish. The location where we're cray diving is one of my favourite places in Shark Bay. In fact, it's probably my favourite dive site in Western Australia. It's geographically really spectacular, lots of different animals, and it's literally on the edge of the earth.
Duncan and Ed are attempting to hand-select crayfish for Ocean Park's sustainable eating display.
Shore diving can be a bit dangerous, and sometimes it really sucks if the swell's big. The rock entry that we need to walk out on to catch these crayfish is full of sea urchins, and it's a pretty nasty surface to land on. So with the wetsuit on, you might be okay. With your dive gear on, you're heavy and cumbersome, and it is really dangerous. You've got to look out for yourself and the people that you're diving with. and hope that no man goes down, because even if you want to help them, it's not always an opportunity that you can, and you really need to have your head screwed on to dive in some of the places that we dive. Let's get down in that deep section and hang on. Yeah, sounds good. Sweet, let's do it. Let me hang on. Yeah, when Eddie and I first submerged, we swim down and it's still pretty wild underneath with that big swell, so we just head deeper and deeper to try and get away from that surge and have a bit more of a comfortable dive and hopefully find some crayfish. Definitely do feel like Sean Connery's martini every now and then. Dirty and shaken, not stirred.
As competent as Ed and Duncan are underwater, the power of the ocean is never to be underestimated.
The problem is that it's a little bit dangerous. That area cops a lot of swell. Not only is it hectic, but I've also got to look out for my best mate, who's more than likely going to do something stupid. At first, we were having trouble finding them.
But even when the ocean provides...
Finally, we find a crayfish, and it's so deep in this ledge, just way too far back to get with that big dive tank on your back.
Duncan removes his oxygen tank, risking his own safety for the sake of collecting this crayfish.
I whip it off and jump straight in. I strongly recommend never taking your dive gear off when you're diving. That's not a wise move by any means. I've been diving since not long after I could walk. Having Ed there with my dive gear made that safe for me, and I took that risk because we really needed that crayfish. And the rest is history.
Duncan certainly takes a lot of risks, but I think they're calculated risks, and he's teaching us all the time. He's teaching Ed, he's teaching me. I have great respect for his knowledge. Sometimes I think he pushes his limits a bit, but he seems to know his limits.
Duncan's oxygen tank is now safely reattached to his back, and the crayfish is carefully stored in the dive bag.
Dunk got a beautiful crayfish, and then even though the conditions were against us, the swell was probably a little bit too big, we found another one, and then just like that, we had 6 crayfish, which is the perfect amount for our new aquarium back in Shark Bay. Every time I'm in that Red River cave, I think to myself, why am I in here again? Particularly when the swells up. I promised myself I'm not going to go in when the swells are big again. Exactly. And next minute I'm in there getting mixed. Oh my God. Anyway, nice craze. We got what we needed. Perfect dive. Oh, that's a nice boy. You can tell he's a male by these little bits here. Also, hey, stop trying to grab on me. Really pretty legs. They get that really deep red colour as well. If we are conscientious seafood consumers, that is a local product. It's supporting the West Australian economy, but also it's certified sustainable. So we know that the appropriate management is going into this animal so we can fish it sustainably into the future. So you know when you're eating Western Rock Lobster, you're doing it in a very sustainable fashion. A beautiful animal in an absolutely immaculate part of the world, and it's just a special experience. Oh, is that a little one? It's an easy tiger.
Ed's priority is to immediately transport the crayfish to Ocean Park Aquarium.
I was so happy to have a successful dive and come up with the craze that we went for, and then putting them into display is unbelievable. Seeing them go in is exactly what we'd envisioned before we built this tank, and it just came to fruition perfectly.
Pretty good, boys. We got the job done, brought them back.
The important thing for us to be able to talk to people about sustainability and eating these animals is for them to be able to see them. And in the aquarium is the only place that a lot of people can. So it was really, really cool to bring them back and have them there as an educational tool for the tours of Ocean Park.
At the Karratha Vet Hospital, Dr. Katie is checking up on Zilly, who's been isolated for 2 days while undergoing treatment for the deadly Parvo virus.
How are you? Oh my God. Okay. All right. Had no vomiting and diarrhea overnight, which is awesome. Let's see what you weigh now.
Zilly is back to her energetic self.
Oh, I have no idea. No idea. Your wiggle pot.
With no signs of further vomiting or diarrhea.
The main thing I want to know today is whether she's going to want to eat. We just want to start with something that's really easily digestible, like Hill's ID. The plan is to just try and hand feed her and see if she'll eat for me. Yum. What we want to see now is that she keeps it down. So anything that we put in, I want to make sure that there's no vomit, that there's no diarrhea, and that we're on the way to trying to get her home. She's calmed down a little bit, whether it's the food or whether it's a little bit of a cuddle. Yeah, look, she's... You're a bit cute, aren't you? You're a bit cute. Yes.
Dr. Katie closely monitors Zilly until she's happy that the parvovirus will not cause her any more harm.
Zilly's, look, she's a typical little noodle. She's absolutely crazy. I don't think anything's going between the ears at this point in time, but beautiful little dog. Ready?
And with one final clinical exam later that day,
Holy moly, kiddo.
Zilly has regained her appetite.
She's got a good appetite, which is great. When I see Zilly head down, bum up, scoffing that chicken, look, it's basically her ticket home. Parvo, it can be so confronting. You can see a dog that comes in that's quite bright and they can die quickly, and then you can pull ones back that you think will never make it, and they go home, and it's just, yeah, it can be a bit of an emotional roller coaster. It's a horrible disease, and I wouldn't wish it on any little pup or any family.
Dr. Katie is confident Zilly has overcome her unfortunate encounter with the deadly parvovirus, and Zilly isn't the only lucky one.
I'm going to hand her over to you, and she's going to go absolutely nuts. So, she is all yours.
Oh, thank you. Oh, you're going to need a bath, hey?
I think Zilly's mum was definitely happy to see her, and now she's got the fun of a 8-week-old puppy running mischief at home. To send a parvo puppy home, you know that you've won. These little guys are going home ready to start their life. I look forward to hopefully seeing her for her next vaccination and just routine things.
After the bushfires, the fate of the koala population on Kangaroo Island is yet to be determined. At this stage, the life of every individual koala is precious.
This guy was in hospital for about 10 days. He was admitted on the 16th of January. So he had pretty nasty burn wounds that needed a dressing change every 1 to 3 days. He's ready to be soft released, which means that he'll be hanging out with all the other boys here. Hello, don't bite me. Here.
From the emergency response, bringing the animals in, getting them through that initial treatment. The best part was when we were able to release the recovered koalas.
So this is the end of the line for the koalas at the moment. Once they've received treatment, they're being soft released into this enclosure where they've got lots of beautiful trees that they can climb. For now, we're not sure how long they're going to be in this enclosure for. It's simply just not safe out there for them. I mean, 80% of their habitat has been lost, so there's very few areas that are left for them to go. All right, handsome, you get to have this little dog collar off you now, and you can be a semi-wild koala again. Good boy. Yeah, have a little scratch. Get to just, here you go, mate, go find a tree. He's gonna go choose his own. Is that a one? Look, at this stage in the game, every koala is important because we just don't know what's gonna happen.
Every koala rescued and revived here on Kangaroo Island will be integral to rejuvenating koala populations Australia-wide.